Welcome to Provence. Our expectations for this trip were very lofty, and they were exceeded every step of the way. Our vacation included stays at Saint-REMY, Avignon, Aix-en-Provence, and Arles, along with many stops at chateaus and beautiful hilltop towns in between. We're pleased to be able to share some of the beautiful sights of our dream trip to the south of France. Enjoy. From the States, we flew to Brussels and immediately on to Nice, where we picked up our rental car and headed out for a 2.5-hour drive to Saint-REMY. After checking in and taking a brief rest, we took a short walk to the town center to explore the sights and look for a restaurant. We decided on Les Marilyn for our first dinner in Provence. The village of Saint-REMY is pretty and picturesque, and the old Gallo-Roman interior is circled by the remnants of the circular 14th century wall and the protective circle of buildings. Located on the plains at the northern edge of the Alpilles, 20 kilometers south of Avignon, this is where Van Gogh painted Starry Night, Nostradamus was born, and Dr. Albert Schweitzer was prisoner. The next morning, we drove to town for breakfast at a cafe, and then headed to the St. Paul Asylum, where Vincent van Gogh produced about 100 works of art, including his famous Starry Night, Cypresses, A Corridor in the Asylum, and Self-Portrait. The site is still an active mental health facility today. Next stop, the spectacular mountaintop village of Les Baux. Just outside the town is a limestone quarry called Carrière des Lumières. Part of the tour of the quarry is admittance to the spectacular light show designed by Christian Lacroix. The art and music projected on the white rock walls was dazzling. Les Baux is a medieval village constructed on solid rock. From one spot you can see as far as Aix-en-Provence, Saint-Victor Mountain, and Marseille, and from the other toward Arles and the Camargue. The Chateau Fortress area of Les Baux de Provence is a high rocky pinnacle extending to the southwest of the village, and the high narrow rocky ridge along the east side, topped with the ruins of castle walls and keeps. Heading back to Saint-Remy for our second night, we happened upon the Chateau Estoublon, so we made a quick stop to see the vineyard and the grounds. September is grape harvest time in the south of France, and the vines were full of fruit. Dinner that night was at SAVEURS de Provence. Fabulous. Stella enjoyed the bouillabaisse, and I had a wonderful aioli. Anyway, we had a great time today, and we found a really great restaurant, SAVEURS de Provence. It was fantastic, and it was really interesting because I looked it up on Google, and all I had to do was put Savour, and the only thing that came up on the Google search was that restaurant, and it was that good. It was fantastic. So, Amorcito, here we go. Let's have a little salute. For tutti. Salud. How's the wine?
Very good. I like it.
This is a local wine. It is very good. It's called Apige. And so we had a great time.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
See you.
Next morning, we headed off to Aix-en-Provence with a stop at the scenic villages of GARD and Roussillon. Just so happened to be market day in GARD, a beautiful hilltop town with a wonderful view of the Luberon Valley. Roussillon is famous for its ochre-colored stucco on its buildings. The rusty color comes from the earth native to the area. We enjoyed a lovely walk about and made some new friends at lunch. Somehow we were able to communicate, kind of.
Voilà, on va essayer de parler français. C'est même pas du parler français, c'est de parler marseillais. Vraiment typiquement du coin.
C'est pas la même chose. On est très content de vous connaître.
Our friends from France.
Voilà.
Ok, no more.
Mon ami.
On a très bien mangé. Et en bonne compagnie.
Merci. Here we are in Aix-en-Provence, and we're going to have a great time this evening. We're going to look for a restaurant. We're going to show you the old part of the city. Aix is known as a university town. The University of Provence is headquartered here, and young people come from all over the globe to study French. We could feel its youthful energy on the streets and in the restaurants as we strolled the town at sunset. Wednesday we were off to Avignon, and Stella found a vineyard to visit just outside of Aix, so we stopped by for a quick visit. Château du Soleil was a summer residence of the noble class from Aix during the 17th century. It is currently undergoing restoration, so we had a limited view of the grounds. Avignon is a historic medieval town on the Rhone River in Provence. Best known for the residence of 7 popes and the seat of the Catholic Church from 1309 until 1429. It's a beautifully preserved medieval town surrounded by the original fortified city walls. The part of Avignon that is the most interest to visitors falls inside the fortifications and is called the Intramuros Quarter, and the bridge, the Pont d'Avignon, which is just outside the walls. The central historical part of the city, including the Palais de Pape, the Saint-Benezet Bridge, and the fortification walls that surround the city, is now a protected UNESCO heritage site. What are we looking at here still?
Avignon Center.
There is much more to Avignon than famous sights, and during a visit you'll see a wealth of beautiful buildings, historical churches, a fine collection of museums, several gardens, an extensive historical center reserved for pedestrian traffic, and lots of cafes and bars. Today we're happy to be at Château Pesquier on the outskirts of Avignon, and we're looking forward to having a great day on September 6th, 2018. Thursday, September 6th was our anniversary, and Stella planned a visit to the beautiful Château Pesquier for wine tasting and a private picnic. A terrific way to celebrate our anniversary day.
Some winery is good. So this is a blend of the 3 grapes that we farm in the estate: Viognier, Clairette, Roussanne.
That's nice.
Are you kidding me?
No wine?
No wine?
How do you live without wine?
Impossible. I'm getting crazy. I kill myself. So, pecorino and truffle spread.
You made this here?
No, it's from Italy, but we like it very much, especially with this wine. So we do a matching meal, wine and meal, something like that.
This is good wine.
Oh, I like that. I like
You like
that.
this one better than this?
I do. Yeah. Let's see. The taste is much bolder than the color.
Yeah.
I was surprised that the color was so light.
If you wait, it will be goldish.
Okay.
More and more. But you get less minerality and more oaky flavors. So it's evaluating. It's a kind of wine you can keep at
Go, open it. So we have plates. Open it here.
Here we go. Oh, you want to see in here? Oh, we got salami. So here we are with our beautiful lunch. We've got little tomatoes and baguette. We've got vino. We've got grapes. Wine openers over here and a little picnic basket.
And it's raining.
And it's raining. It's sprinkling. It's a very, very light sprinkle. I'm going to open up the wine for us. Let's do that.
And you don't want the camera to be wet.
Voila.
And it's raining.
Okay.
Mira.
Wine for you.
I recommend that you will move to this food.
Well, Stella outdid herself. She made reservations at the Chateau Pisquier, and we had a tour of the chateau, and now we're having a beautiful picnic together with a bottle of wine, grapes. We had some French salami, cheese. It was fantastic. Thank you, mi amorcito. We're visiting the Beaurenard vineyard in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Provence, France. Kiss, kiss!
Yes!
We're in the Ferris wheel in Avignon. For dinner, I made reservations at 83 Vernet, a beautiful restaurant in what used to be a monastery in the center of Avignon.
83 Vernet,
Dinner was wonderful.
a very nice
The
restaurant
company,
here in
even better.
Avignon. Hello. And we are going to celebrate our anniversary. Yeah, it was a monastery before. And it's one of the better places in town. So we're going to have a good time.
The next morning, we took a long stroll around Avignon and explored the local market. No supermarkets. The locals prefer to buy fresh daily. Looking at the selection of produce, meat, and French bakery products, it would be easy to see why. That evening, we witnessed a spectacular light show designed by Christian Lacroix and projected on the walls of the main courtyard of the Palais du Pape. The drive to Arles was going to be short, so we detoured to the famous Pont de GARD, the 2,000-year-old Roman aqueduct and bridge constructed over the Gardon River. The aqueduct continued on another 50 kilometers to Nîmes. This aqueduct is a marvel of ancient Roman engineering, and one of the arches spans 25 meters, one of the longest in Roman times. Arles is the site for the annual Feria du Riz, or the Rice Festival. The main events are the Goyesca bullfights held on Saturday and Sunday. We stopped to see the bulls on the outskirts of town. Arles was all dressed up for the festival. The streets were full of enthusiastic visitors from all over the world who take part in the three-day party. One of the Roman Empire's largest amphitheaters was built here in Arles. It seats about 20,000 spectators and has been in almost constant use since its construction in 90 AD.
And tomorrow, we're going to be in there to see the bullfight.
Arles and Provence in general is greatly dependent upon ranching, rice, and vegetable production in the Camargue, a lowland area beginning just west of Arles and lining the Rhone River valley between the Rhone and the Petit Rhone rivers, all the way down to the Mediterranean Sea. The Camargue bull is the symbol of the region, and running with the Camargue bulls is a ritual for young folks. A version of French bullfighting features Camargue bulls, but the Feria du Riz is all about traditional bullfighting. Stella did some checking online for a restaurant for dinner, and we decided on Restaurant Les Scaladus, fabulous traditional Provençal food and wine, so good we returned the following night. After dinner, we walked the village and had a great time partying with folks from all over here for the festival. No, I never considered messing with the bulls. Saturday was the big day for the Goyesca bullfight. We had all day to explore the village of Arles, and after croissants and café, we walked some of the Van Gogh Trail, an interesting tour of some of the scenes that inspired Vincent van Gogh while he lived in Arles.
We're having a great time. this afternoon, the bullfight.
What time?
1h.
Voilà, messieurs, dames. Alors ici, on est sur la place du Provence.
Oh, laissez-moi les bons yeux de la maman. Si ya que ya no güey, cuento mi vida que es tu amor, que no lo puedo.
The main attraction, the Goyesca bullfight inside a 2,000-year-old Roman amphitheater, complete with the famous French soprano Muriel Tamau. The design on the sand of the amphitheater floor was designed by Domingo Zapata, a well-known Spanish-American contemporary artist. The French do it upright. It was striking to me to be inside this ancient Roman engineering marvel, viewing an event that would not be dissimilar to what would have taken place here during the Roman Empire. Camargue region is vital to the lives of all Provençals. Its ranches provide meat, poultry, milk, cheese, and many other food staples. The Camargue horse is similar in size to an American quarter horse and is used for herding the Camargue bulls, but not Spanish bulls as they are too aggressive, large, and fast. Spanish horses are used to manage them. The most interesting creature in the Camargue is the pink flamingo. There are an estimated 10,000 of them here, arriving in spring and leaving for warmer climes in the fall. The rice farmers in the region introduced the red dragonfly to help the local blue dragonfly control the mosquito population. Monday was our last full day in Provence, and we had tickets on the fast TGV train scheduled for Paris from Avignon at 5:30 in the afternoon. That gave us enough time to visit the beautiful town of Uzes before driving to the station to drop off the rental car. We enjoyed a wonderful vacation in Provence. Beautiful towns, delicious French cuisine and wines, exploring chateaus and celebrating our 21st anniversary in one of the most spectacularly beautiful places on earth. Another perfect voyage planned by Stella. Thank you so much, Stella, for all you did to make this vacation perfect. Love, Bob.